Hello, friends. Thank you for tuning in to the Main Ingredients Bread of Life devotionals. I can't think of a better way than to start our week out than to get into the Word. We're continuing through our series in the book of Romans, What to Believe and How to Behave. And today's devotional is coming through Romans chapter 2, verse 28 through 29. And it says, "For you are not a true Jew just because you were born of Jewish parents, or because you have gone through the ceremony of circumcision. No, a true Jew is one whose heart is right with God. And true circumcision is not merely obeying the letter of the law. Rather, it is a change of heart produced by the Spirit. And a person with a changed heart seeks praise from God, not from people." Man. Did you know that men are less likely to go to the doctor than a woman? Now, there was a study done in 2021 that revealed out of 1,000 men 18 and over, almost half had not been to see a doctor or received a wellness checkup. If we were to take that same poll and ask how many had been to the barbershop or bought some new clothes recently, what would that number be? Now, in a society where visuals are everything, we tend to care more about the outward appearances than inward conditions. Most people wait till there's something seriously wrong before they go to a doctor. Then they hear those dreaded words, "If you had to come earlier, we might have been able to ... Now, even in our faith, we focus more on the outward than we do the inward. We focus on baptisms, we focus on memberships, we focus on acts of service and appearance. But do we focus the same attention on heartfelt devotion and obedience to God? Now, don't get me wrong. All those former things are good. We should pay attention to those things, but not at the cost of the latter. People tend to focus more on what they are doing for God than being in fellowship with Him. And what Paul tells us, we need to turn our attention to true circumcision, true acts of worship. And so what is true circumcision? What are true acts of worship? It is an intimate fellowship and devotional obedience to God. It is having your heart separated from wickedness, evil, and inbred sin, and being set apart by God and for God. It is a longing, a desire, a hunger, and a thirst for more of God's presence, not His presence. We can have the appearance of health, but be dying on the inside. Now, what we must understand is that God is more concerned with our eternal qualities, not our external quantities. If our hearts are not right with God, the things we will do for the praise of ourselves and for people, and not for God. If our hearts are not right with God, the motives behind our works will be selfish and self-centered, not selfless and Christ-centered. If we are to experience true circumcision or true acts of worship, it must start in our hearts through intimate fellowship, devotion, surrender, and obedience to God. My prayer is Holy Spirit would circumcise our hearts from all wickedness, evil, and inbred sin, and that we may fellowship intimately through heartfelt devotion, surrender, and obedience to God. At the Main Ingredient, we're setting a table for transformation.